Amazing actors who are in awful movies. Hollywood has no shortage of talented and successful actors. But sometimes, talent and quality do not exactly get together, and as a result, Hollywood also has a number of popular stars who more often than not consistently end up delivering bad projects. Whether it be because of bad choices, bad agents, or a literal lack of care. In this episode of Celeb Sector, and let's take a look at 10 extremely talented actors who always find themselves in terrible movies. Gerard Butler. Zack Snyder's 300 is the movie that revealed Gerard Butler to the world in 2006. He played the main role of Leonidas, king and leader of the Spartans during their vicious war against the terrifying Xerxes. The movie became an instant classic, and Butler became a household name overnight. People were so excited to find out where he would go next, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like his seemingly bright future played out the way everyone had hoped. People often say that Butler's only good movie to date was 300, and it is quite hard to argue with that. He is now known to settle for mediocre films and throw away B movies, mainly thanks to major flops like Machine Gun Preacher, Geostorm, which lost Warner Brothers over $100 million, and the awfully dreaded Gods of Egypt, which lost its studio over $900 million. He did manage to secure himself a critically panned trilogy in the sequels to Olympus Has Fallen, which earned him the title of Hollywood's weirdest action hero. The last entry in the trilogy, 2019's Angel Has Fallen, became his first #1 movie since 300 was released 13 years prior. Milla Jovovich. Some people will argue that, despite a lengthy career, Milla Jovovich has only ever been in one good movie, Luc Besson's 1997 The Fifth Element, in which she gave an incredible performance that was praised by audiences and critics alike. They wouldn't be completely wrong. Aside from that movie, Jovovich is mostly known for playing the main character Alice in the Fallen Resident Evil franchise, which has mostly made a highly disliked films. Milla is one of those actresses who always gives great performances to her roles, no matter how bad the movie is. The major problem most people point to is the fact that Jovovich seems to only be interested in starring in movies directed by her husband, Paul W.S. Anderson, who happens to be one of the least respected directors in Hollywood. Anderson is behind duds such as Mortal Kombat, Alien vs. Predator, the 2011 remake of The Three Musketeers, the widely forgotten Pompeii, and of course, the critically panned Resident Evil movies. Chris Hemsworth. Now yes, Chris Hemsworth is Thor. As a result, he has appeared in a number of popular Marvel movies. And even then, the first two Thor movies are considered by many to be some of the weakest entries in the franchise. But what else has he been in that was critically acclaimed or popular with the public? Most people will point out that he was in the modern horror cult classic The Cabin in the Woods, which came out a decade ago, but that's about it. A shame, because Chris Hemsworth has proven himself to be an insanely talented actor, capable of playing darker roles as well as funnier ones. However, since taking on the role of Thor in 2011, Hemsworth has only been in subpar movies that performed terribly on every front. He attempted to star in a number of failed franchises, including the cancelled Huntsman trilogy, the horrible and the infamous 2016 Ghostbusters reboot with Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig, and Leslie Jones. He also took part in a number of action thrillers like Black Hat, 12 Strong, and Extraction, which all failed to interest critics and audiences. Eva Green. Since her critically acclaimed role in 2006 Casino Royale, Eva Green's career has been an absolute roller coaster of weird choices and promising projects that somehow couldn't stick the landing. She became a Tim Burton muse, starring in his most recent duds, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, Dark Shadows, and the disappointing live-action remake of Dumbo. She also appeared in widely despised sequels with 2014's 300 Rise of an Empire and Sin City A Dame to Kill For under her belt. She did have some mildly successful projects, but aside from one sleeper hit show, Penny Dreadful, Eva Green's career has been a bit of a bumpy ride. Michael Fassbender. He did manage to get a few wins that were few and far between, such as his Oscar-nominated role in the Oscar-winning 12 Years a Slave in 2013, or his critically acclaimed performance as Steve Jobs in the 2015 biopic that won him a Golden Globe for Best Actor. But, despite those successes, most of Michael Fassbender's entries have been notoriously bad films, even if he always delivers fantastic performances in them. Lucy Hale. Things did not go as planned. Since the end of Pretty Little Liars, Hale has been stuck in a cycle of mediocre movie flops and cancelled TV shows. She also found herself trapped by her former success, seemingly to only find roles in teen projects. She starred in the failed horror movie Truth or Dare in 2018, the critically panned Dude, and the awful remake of Fantasy Island, which crashed and burnt at the box office early in 2020. During that time, Lucy also got main TV roles in the CW's Life Sentence and Riverdale spin-off Katie Keene, both of which were cancelled after one season. Despite being a gifted performer, Lucy Hale's name has very unfortunately become synonymous with bad cinema and mediocre television, and people now expect a movie to be awful as soon as they found out that her name is attached to it. However, despite their subpar filmography, most people still agree that the talent of these actors cannot be disputed, and it is a shame when these performers fall in a strange pocket of forgotten and overlooked abilities. Thank you all for watching! Remember to subscribe and hit the post notification button.